Okay, so welcome back to my channel. This is a recap of Girlfriend Season 1, Episode 4. Okay, so we're back at Gail's house, and Gail and Tom are in an uproar because Corinne hasn't brought Ben back. And so Gail is getting herself together to go over to Corinne's place to get Ben. And Tom wants to go with her, but of course he's still on house arrest and it'll be past his curfew. So she goes over to Linda's house to see if Linda or Sue will go over with her. So she gets over there, and that's when she sees the car parked out, Carol's car, which at this point she doesn't know it's Carol's car. She sees the car parked out in front of Linda's house, and then she walks up and she sees the door is ajar. So of course she already knows something isn't right. So she gets in, she sees that the cat, again, still can't remember the daggone cat's name. She sees that the cat is dead. So she can hear the commotion, and she's walking up the stairs. She can hear the commotion in Linda's room. And so she goes in, and she sees Carol with a knife to Linda's neck. And she's basically forcing Linda to write a confession, confessing to the murder of Mickey. So the woman is batshit crazy, right? So, because you have to want... No, it wasn't a rabbit in the pot, but... You broke into the woman's house and killed the cat. Now you're forcing her at knife point to write a confession, which would never hold up because it was under duress, right? So, of course, Sue was in the room, and now Gail is in the room, and they're trying to talk Carol down, and they basically said no, they didn't have these problems, and they've always loved each other. They are perfect for each other, and she's asking forcing Linda to recount what happened. And of course, Linda's telling her what she wants to hear about how, yeah, she did kill him. She did knock it. She did push him over and knock him over there. And then, of course, they're like, oh, okay. The way she's telling the story is like, is she really forcing her to confess? Or did she actually do some shit, right? So, eventually, Ruby comes out of her room. Now, how she slept through all this commotion is anybody's guess, but eventually she comes out of her room and she walks over to her mom's room and she sees that she can see what's going on. So she bolts out of the house. She runs down the street because she's in walking distance of Linda. So she goes down to Gail's house, gets Tom. Tom comes back. He comes barreling through the door, and next thing you know, the police. That he's basically trying to what's going on, and he's trying to make attempts to disarm her, and I mean this whole thing. And then you hear the police sirens. Okay, all in all, the police come in, so it's this whole confusion because we thought initially you think that they're showing up to take Carol away, but they're actually coming because it's past curfew and Tom isn't home, so they're actually coming to arrest him in the midst of all this, and then Carol is like trying to sneak out to run away. So Sue and Gail jump on her to keep her from leaving, and the police are like, "What the hell is going on here?" And so basically, they get that whole thing situated, right? So they give Tom a break because obviously extenuated circumstances, and they take Carol into custody. Tom explains to the cop that his baby mama got his son and he needs to go and get his son back. So the cop, he said, okay, I'll give you 2 hours. If you're not back at home in 2 hours, I'm gonna have to take you in. And so they eventually go to where Corinne is staying. She's not there. The neighbor says, oh, they took her to the hospital because she was pregnant. So they get to the hospital. They see that she had just given birth to giving birth. They see Ben is okay, and so they take him. Take him home. And so this is the morning of the inquest. Now, initially, everybody thought that this was the actual inquest, but this is actually the pre-inquest to see basically what actually happened. Her version of events. So she's there, the captain of the ship, along with the attorney, I guess, who represents the cruise line, is there, and the insurance representative is also at the inquest. And so everyone is being questioned. Of course, once Linda found out that this is not the actual inquest, it's the informal inquest. And so when she asked her, Linda said, well, what do you mean? Like, well, how long are we going to have to wait for the official inquest? And the lady was like, it could take up to 5 to 7 years. So you can see she's having another one of her moments where she's having some type of panic attack. Her vision is blurred. She's, her auditory, senses are impacted because you can tell it's kind of muffled. Like she can hear what's going on, but not really. And she's just kind of dazed at this point. Because at this point, she just wants everything to be over. So she recounts what happens. The cruise line, basically, the captain, he says his piece. The insurance representative basically talks about, what he's learned at this point in his investigation. And so, after the inquest, Ruby basically tells them that she's going to find out that she might be pregnant by Tom. So, okay, girl, okay, I get you guys had a thing back in the day, but Tom, he living with his mammy. He already got a kid that he can't take care of, and he's on house arrest. He's like, just, it's not like, he's had some issues back in the day, and he's over, and he's moved past it and rebuilt his life. He's literally on house arrest at his mama's house wearing an ankle bracelet, and you done got knocked up. Okay, Ruby girl. Well, whatever. But, they're all like, oh, that's so exciting. And, they, acting like this is some great, wonderful thing. Okay, whatever. Okay, so Andrew walks up eventually, and he tells her, based on how it appears, because the captain did order a round of drinks for everyone. And so, because of how things appeared, it makes it look like the cruise line was providing him with alcohol, which could have contributed to his death. So I guess it was basically a PR move. The cruise line offered her a settlement, basically. And of course she was ecstatic, and it's still up in the air whether or not she's going to get the insurance payout. Okay, so Sue eventually tells Gail and Linda that she wants to start an online magazine, Adorable 2. Because remember, the initial one that she helped build with John is called Adorable. Okay, so Sue finds out that her age discrimination tribunal is like within the next couple of weeks. And so all of a sudden she receives a phone call from John. So John is basically there, walking and reminiscing. And she basically brings up Andrew and tells him about Andrew's family. And, he has 2 grandchildren. And he was just very so cold and nonchalant, like, oh, okay, really? And then he started talking about the tribunal. And she was like, you really don't care about him, do you? You really don't care about him. It's like, he is a complete and total asshole, right? So, basically, obviously this conversation was an attempt to try to settle with her, because he doesn't want everything to come out, because then his wife and his other children are going to find out that he's been carrying on this relationship with this woman for 30 years. There's an outside child. It's, the whole thing. So all of this is going to come out. So he's doing everything he can to try to basically manipulate her, using her feelings for him to try to get her to end the lawsuit, basically. And, it just ended on a bad note. And so, I forget where she was, but she receives a text from him or another call from him. She meets with him again. Now, all of this is, Andrew doesn't know about these meetings that she's been having with John. And so, this is where she tells him that she's starting the online magazine Adorable 2. And he was basically like, you can't do that. And she said, well, of course I can, because I came up with the name, and I've already helped you build your magazine to what it is today. And Adorable 2 is going to be an online magazine. And so, after that whole situation, they have their whole exchange. And so she's back at Linda's house. They're just basically talking about the magazine. They're actually going through bridal magazines. And she realizes that the article, something, again, the article that she had written that John didn't like, because he was like, oh, the model is she's older, she's not attractive, and he published the article, but it was published under Stacy's name, right? So she saw that, now she is pissed, right? Okay, so Andrew arrives at the house, and immediately Sue tells him about the article. Like, John stole her article and put Stacy's name on it, and da-da-da-da. And then he broke the news to Linda and basically told her that they received a call and that the Spanish Coast Guard found a body that they strongly believe is Mickey, and they need her to go over to identify the body. And of course, again, she is having. You could look at her face; she's like looking nervous and like just, just her facial expressions are just a trip, right? And so they go through the whole thing, right? And I think, they encouraged her and basically said, we want, we can go with you. Or I think she said, can somebody else do it? And he was saying that no, they would prefer it be a spouse. And so, he said what he had to say, and he left. And that's when Miss Linda admitted that she did kill Mickey's ass, and she knew about the affair. So this bitch has been walking around here this whole time, having all these conniptions and I believe the emotions were real because there was, I guess, just the fear of being caught, but it wasn't that of a grieving spouse. Like, she killed his ass. She knew about Carol. She knew, obviously she knew about the affair the entire time, and all these people. She's walking around here getting all this sympathy, and the children, they're all broken up. They're, oh my God, my father done fell off. It's this whole big situation. Oh, Carol, this crazy bitch. She's trying to destroy my mother, and that she's slandering my father, and all this mess. And the whole time, this bitch done bashed Mickey over the head, and he done fell over into the damn water. That's basically how this episode ended. So Linda is a damn murderer, and you should see Sue and Gail's facial expression when she confessed to that shit. It was too much. It was too much. So I'm gonna end this here, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.